Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. We are in beautiful Maldives today, just on a nice little rest getaway after a long period of work. If you haven't been, definitely come and check it out. I will maybe see if I can film some stuff for you guys later, showing you some beaches and some nice, beautiful sea. But it's one of the few places in the world that actually lives up to the postcards. When I've gone to places in Thailand and various other parts of the world, frequently, it looks picturesque and beautiful, and then you get there and there's broken bottles or used condoms or things like this that, they try and not show you in there. There are some exceptions, but anyway, Maldives is really, really stunning, and so well worth coming and visiting. Anyway, today we're going to talk about a place in the world that not many people talk about. In fact, I don't think I've heard anyone really discuss it, and yet it has remarkable tax advantages, relatively low cost of living, relatively great quality of life in terms of kind of what it offers, and is sort of not any place that anyone talks about. The weather maybe leaves something to be desired, but of course depends on what it is your preferences are. And it compares a little bit with Italy and Greece, which have this lump sum tax regime, but happens to be a fair bit better than that in at least a certain set of regards. So we're going to talk today about this country, and we're going to find out what you guys think and if there's somebody who's interested in going there. So before we do, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the all notification bell. Thank you for being with us. I am Michael from Offshore Citizen. If you are not familiar, we are some of the foremost international tax and relocation specialists. We're going to talk today about one of these wonderful countries. If you'd like help relocating there, please let us know. Please reach out to us. You can book a call with me, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link below, or send a message to offshorecitizen.net. And we will help you figure out what is best for you, whether this country or we deal with dozens of countries around the world. We've dealt with clients from 145 different countries, either in terms of countries and territories, I guess, not necessarily all countries, and either are citizens there or live there, and we're happy to help you too. So what is this country? This country is Poland. Okay, so a lot of people, Poland is not traditionally a very low tax place. They have some interesting tax optimization, in particular for IT people. You can get about 12% tax within certain criteria, and that's pretty awesome. It's a fairly new program. I'll do a video on it in the future. It can be lower for certain professions and higher for certain professions, but for a lot of people, that's the case. But historically, not a very low tax place, okay? So hence, we haven't talked about it on this channel ever before. We talked more about Bulgaria and Romania and Cyprus and Malta and some of these places that tend to be the most tax optimal. But for the people who are interested, there is a wealthy, high-income relocation scheme for people who want to relocate to Poland. It doesn't apply to everybody, but might apply to you. And so they have programs like this in, for example, Italy. They've got a flat tax, or what they call lump sum tax program, which is 100,000 euros per year. And in Greece, they have similar. It can go down depending on how much you invest in real estate, but more or less 100,000 euros lump sum tax. Well, it turns out that Poland has this for basically 50,000. I say basically because you have these conversion rates depending on what currency you're dealing with. But basically for 50,000 per year, you can relocate to Poland and have that as just a lump sum tax. So just kind of consider this for context, right? If you're somebody who makes a lot of investment income, if you have a business abroad that happens to produce a lot of income and can pay you a dividend, etc., you could go and relocate to Poland, which is in many regards like a pretty great country to relocate to, right? It's part of the EU. If you're single and you want to get married, then maybe you can find somebody there. It's got a very expedited path to citizenship if you go that route. If you're already married, I mean, you can go there regardless. And you could take advantage of, let's say that your business is making $1 million a year. Well, 50,000 a year is 5%. Let's say it's making $5 million a year. That's 1%. I mean, very low taxes, has a high network of tax treaties, is not regarded as a place that is on blacklists or anything like that. So nobody's going to have a problem in this regard. You actually are making some sort of a tax payment, with certain people like, because then they can show back to their home country that I'm actually contributing somewhere, and therefore, they figure they're going to have less issues with the tax department. This is not going to apply to earned income inside Poland. This is going to apply to foreign income that you're going to remit, non-earned. But you have the flexibility of remitting it, which is something that you don't have with various non-dom programs such as UK or Ireland. And so that's a pretty major advantage. And you can get residency without too much difficulty in Poland now. There are some times where it was maybe not quite as easy as some places. Path to citizenship, a little more difficult if you're not doing so via like marriage or something like that, but is an option for people who are willing to live there and integrate and so on and so forth. And at the same time, you get a Schengen country, so you have freedom of travel within the EU, or at least within the Schengen zone, I guess. And so for a lot of people, I think this is a very underrated option. There are many people who quite like that part of the world. As I said, the weather is not necessarily the greatest. Yes, it's an Eastern European country. I guess some people might say it's Central European or something like that. But for the kind of culturally, it's more in the direction of Russian culture, I guess, than British culture or something like that. So people tend to think of a lot of these countries in that sort of former USSR kind of, that's kind of like how they get painted, even though geographically it's arguably not true. But anyway, that's a little point of clarity that probably doesn't matter that much. Anyway, definitely worth going and checking out. You can go check out places like Krakow, places like Warsaw, places like Gdansk, and other places. Definitely would encourage you to go this summer. I'm going to see if I can take my mother on a trip there at some point. It's a place that she expressed an interest in visiting. And yeah, if you're interested in that, or if you think, hey, well, maybe that's not for me, but I'm interested in someplace like Ireland, or I'm interested in UK, or I'm interested in Italy, or Greece, or Bulgaria, or Thailand, or UAE, or something like that, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next video.